The Midway was the front door to the big show. There were all kinds of sights and sounds here to thrill the circus fans.
Oh, there's Papa. People would ask, what's it like to grow up with a father as a clown? And I couldn't have asked for a better father. He was my cheerleader, my best supporter, and I miss him so much. Oh.
Circus is about all of the senses. Until you can see the motion, until you can appreciate what's happening, it's hard to know the full story.
There's so much film that needs to be digitized. If we don't save that content, what we're going to be losing is part of who we are.
For me to see my father, it's very moving.
The act, the performer, the costume. Moving image is really the most wonderful, accurate way to capture that.
Yeah, I remember watching them as a little girl.
That's amazing.
That was pretty amazing. Thank you.
That's amazing.
So now that's just recorded?
Yeah, so as it goes through, you have a high-res camera that captures high-res frames of each frame as it goes by.
With film, you're dealing with a very fragile media type. Every archive has a huge backlog of this kind of material that hasn't been digitized. It's too slow, it's too expensive, too much data, and too complicated. By keeping films cold and dry, they could extend the life of film. But that doesn't mean they're not deteriorating, they're just deteriorating slower. We need to save the content, and we're running out of time for a lot of it.
With this digitization project, I can see us being able to find stories that we didn't know were out there. The films that we have in the collection here at the Ringling are such treasures, and if we don't digitize them, first and foremost, we lose out on the stories that are in there because the media itself is too delicate to play on it with any regularity.
For a young person, if it's not on the internet, it doesn't exist. The solution, I thought, was to figure out a way of mass digitizing motion picture film inexpensively.
We would not be digitizing these films if we did not have the filmic system. It just isn't in our budget to outsource this project. It's tens of thousands of dollars. And then you have the risk of shipping your collection somewhere. If they got lost, then you've lost an incredible body of work.
The basic idea is that the person loads the film on the machine, puts it around a minimal amount of rollers, and presses start. And that's it, done, walks away.
You can respond to researchers on a timely manner because you create that MP4 in-house. It makes the process so much easier.
The people who are running it don't have to be film experts. Most operators have not ever seen film before. They're young people.
The sprockets are gone, so you don't have to make sure that the tension's right and you fed it in. I mean, it's very easy. The machine does a lot of the work for you. We didn't lose any films. We didn't have any breakage. And there's been hundreds done in the 10 weeks that we've had this machine.
It's not enough to just have a pretty picture. You also need to understand the condition of the film.
The filmic system will give you clues with their condition report on really what's going on in those films. And you can track the stability of that media over time.
We're actually measuring the sprocket holes to see how they compare to the other sprocket holes to see whether there's shrinkage in the film.
All of a sudden you know more about that item and what needs to be done to it.
When we have the digital assets, we can share them in galleries. We can bring them to people who didn't even know to look for them. And we can use them to really enlarge the story of the American circus, of specific performers. We can give so much more depth to the stories we tell.
We talk about the potentials that we have now. It's exciting. The elements on the film come to life. the backyard scenes, the performances. You start seeing ways you can use this material.
We're not here forever, but the materials need to be there for the future. And if we don't take action now, they're not going to be available for the future. That's kind of what my goal is. Let's save the stuff.
To be able to see these different feats that you just don't see anymore and say, wow, nobody's doing that. I'm going to do that. And so I think not only is it preserving the history, but it's also opening up a door to the future.